they are the majority, that the government is a minority. That's why we have mass action. Yes, you're right, the United Front can be tiny left groups associating with each other. But we try to get beyond that, and at the moment we have a difficult period, which has demoralized a lot of left. All the left groups have split in one way or another. But we have to keep on trying. If for no other reason, we know that the majority of people, as Corinne said, have no interest in any of these right-wing, anti-social security, healthcare, no interest whatsoever. They're angry. That's why young people are the first to reflect it. If you look at the headlines of the New York Times, I can't figure out what to say about Trump and his trade wars. I'm going to keep Canadian aluminum out, and Japanese steel, and this or that, and so on. But that's exactly what the ruling class has done. But privately, quietly, they meet in the World Trade Organization with the richest people on earth, and they say, look, your steel is fucking our steel. So we'll let some of your steel in, but we want some of our computers in. So they negotiated. But when the point the profits are so low, they have to use force. The free trade versus protectionism is just a temporary reflection of the relationship of forces. NAFTA was put into practice by Bill Clinton and a minority of the Democrats. And he said it was free trade. But first they went into the back room and they got 10,000 pages of special exceptions to NAFTA to protect all the weak American industries that couldn't compete and to advance the interest of the strong ones. Ruling class does that every day. Trump, the moron, thinks he can make a proclamation to say who we're going to oppose and not oppose. But the ruling class has real control. They know exactly when the moron Trump, the fucking moron Trump, has to be slowed down. So they let him free rein. The only reason the American people voted for Trump is because Hillary Clinton was the establishment, right-wing, deportation, Democratic Party candidate. So an obscure piece of shit ends up president. You think the ruling class hadn't had discussions about how embarrassed they are? They just slap him aside. He doesn't run the country. The Democrats voted for a 10-15% increase in the military and the tax cuts. On his cabinet, it's the same thing. His cabinet says around, they know he's a ranting fucking idiot. So when they say you really can't do that, you're going against General Motors, the biggest corporations in the country. He says, fuck you, you're fired. The General Motors does what they need to do. Because presidents don't determine U.S. foreign policy. Presidents don't determine. They are the facade of what the ruling class needs at any particular time. And when someone gets in the way, they'll boot them out. So right now you see the Democrats and the New York Times running a charade. This is a real election to determine the future of humanity. If we don't throw Trump out, the world is going to come to an end. The fascists are going to take over the streets. That's bullshit. Corinne said, the teachers, and I want to end on this. I was a teacher for a lifetime, and the most militant thing I've seen in decades was the red state teachers. Why? Because one, they struck statewide as opposed to individual school districts. In California, I struck in Hayward in 1975 in a little district with 1,000 teachers. Nobody listened. We won because they were afraid of teacher unionism in 1972. But today they don't care if you go on strike in some school district. They just don't care. The red state teachers struck statewide. The red state teachers defied their leadership when they told them not to strike. The red state teachers said to the state legislature, you are going to return to the public all of the money that you've transferred from the programs of working people and sent to the corporations. All of it, or we stay on strike, not for one day, or the AFT style after a week, the AFT private slogan in negotiations. I was a leader of the AFT for a lifetime. AFT says, hey, listen, it's one thing to go out on strike. It's another thing to get back in. And they orchestrate these strikes. Militants, we're with the parents, we're with the kids. At the end of the week, they rush back in, like in Oakland, where I work. And I worked with the teachers union for a lifetime. as soon as that week was up, the AFT and the NEA came in and said, get your ass back in, there's no money and nothing you can do. The teachers' first time out rejected the contract. Took them a couple of votes to convince them. So they broke with the bureaucracy. They not only struck for public education, but they said to all public employees, we want the cuts for you. You're not teachers, you're not custodians, but you're not even in the teaching system. We want the money restored for you. And they struck for the kids for class size, and they meant it. It wasn't just a slogan. Whereas in Oakland and Los Angeles, they struck for the kids. And Los Angeles ended up their strike with the highest class size in the state, a maximum of 44 kids, and they ended up a mandatory cut of 1 kid or 2 for the classes. So West Virginia, a, quote, right-wing Republican state, showed what workers can do when they're angry, when they have their own organization, when they use their class power, they can inspire the labor movement, and we're going to have more of them. That's the future. That's the tools that we rebuild the labor union movement. Whoever expected it to become teachers? Why are you a teacher? You have no social weight. Because it should if you teach the kids or not. But those teachers said, it's not just the kids. We're striking for the entire labor. We're striking for the wages of all workers. We're setting an example of what union democracy can be like. That's why we're all inspired with those teachers. And you're going to see 1,000 times more of them. Our power only comes from the mass movement. It has never in history come from a capitalist party. It is inherently based on the exploitation of human beings and endless wars, racism, and poverty across the globe, not to mention global warming, existential threat if there ever was, or nuclear war. Thank you.
Well, I want to start on a positive note.
Jim.
Me and Jeff agree completely on that it's only mass movements that bring about social change. We can't rely on politicians, and definitely not bourgeois politicians. We can only depend, and I would say even the most well-intentioned socialist politician, we can't depend upon. Because socialist politicians can only do so much. If they don't have mass backing, they'll be overthrown or they'll be stopped, by one means or another. It's only mass movements of the working class and its allies that can bring about change and make sure that that change is implemented. We agree on that completely. Let me just say, I gotta say something about white nationalism and fascism. First of all, if you don't believe that white nationalism is a real moving force, not just in this country, but across Europe, and there's not ideologues that are actually building and leading this movement, just go on the internet and type it in. Go on Facebook, go on Twitter. The organizing is taking place there. So if you don't look there, I hate to say it, you're not looking at what young people are doing today. That's where they get their information. They don't read newspapers, okay? And they are organizing, just like, the ruling class in this country did a big scare, but it really wasn't totally a scare, about how ISIS was using the internet. Well, the same way that ISIS used the internet, very effectively, these white nationalists are using the internet today, okay? And they're recruiting people. I mean, Promise Keepers, which I brought up before, I never knew they, what? What? Oath Keepers, right. Oath Keepers. I only found out about them because they actually proposed that someone from their group speak at an anti-war rally, okay? Believe it or not. Because some of them have this theory that, that it's, I don't even know how to describe it, except that there's, the United Nations and the, they're isolationists. And they believe that there's like a supranational government that basically that's behind the United Nations. They also is very anti-Semitic, all of their theories. And basically that these internationalists are taking over the U.S. government. And that's what was behind the war. And that they're the real patriots. You shake your heads, but I gotta tell you, type in Oath Keepers and look at what they do. okay? And, you know, you can't just look, just like you would used to look at the world press to find out what was going on. You gotta realize that today, it's the internet that young people use.
But Jack, it's not, there's no such thing as a white, I mean, I'm saying don't recognize it as nationalism, call it what it is, it's white racism. Because
It's
there's
both.
no such a thing as a white nation, that's a.
No,
There
your
are-
words,
there
okay.
are
See,
black-
they do define this country as a white nation, or that's what they want. And there's even white,
Marilyn, let him talk.
another good example is they actually like even though they're anti-Semitic, they like the right-wing Zionists in Israel, because they're doing in Israel what they would like to have done in Europe and in this country, okay? The other thing I want to say about fascism is, you know, you're looking at fascism through a classical Trotskyist perspective, okay? That it's only comes about through a mass movement. But today, especially because of the high level of technology that we have, you can have very quick repression carried out, not necessarily on a mass level, without necessarily masses of thugs carrying it out, and have it be just as locked down and effective, okay? Although in this case, if you don't think Trump is cultivating a mass base that wants to do extra parliamentary actions, look at his rallies. There's a reason why he's doing that. And look at what the people who are attending them are advocating, okay? I gotta say one short thing about Bernie and the anti-war movement. Bernie has been to anti-war demonstrations, and he did come out against military intervention against Venezuela, and he refused. I looked it up while we were talking. That's why my phone acted up. He refused to call Maduro a dictator when he was on CNN. What I will say, though, is that Maduro has really mismanaged, or the bureaucracy around Maduro has really mismanaged the situation in Venezuela. And unfortunately, there is a left opposition in Venezuela that's trying to organize rank-and-file workers and peasants to the left of Maduro that I think needs to be supported. While Maduro's government should be defended against imperialism. And I've been very active in the anti-war movement around that in Miami. Teachers union and social weight. Because of the changes in technology and the society, I think teachers have a lot more social weight than we used to perceive them in a classical, you know, Marxist sense or Trotsky sense. And in South Florida, we actually, I actually do printing. There's a strong opposition in the Miami Teachers Union, which lost the election, but I did printing and helped them out. And in Broward, they actually won the election. Not that they're God's gift to heaven. There's a lot of problems with them, but they're a lot better than the people that were there before. And I'm sorry that the young man walked out there, left. But I was going to say, some of us are recollecting how when you get older and so on. I hate to say we have so, and I shouldn't say we, the ruling class, but unfortunately, while we were alive, this happened, has so screwed up this world that when that young man gets to be our age, I don't know if the world's going to be even habitable the way it is now. It'll be habitable, but a lot of places that exist now might be underwater, and certain species might be extinct. I mean, you have massive ecological changes happening every year, and we can't tell whether we're past the tipping point. Because they've already made predictions that are wrong, okay? And the global ice packs are melting far faster than we think. And the permafrost emits more, it eliminates more carbon. So things are getting worse and worse and worse, which is one of the reasons why I've taken on a leadership role in 350. And actually, I'm just trying to be a caretaker and cultivate younger people. But I think that the environmental movement is very key for the left to be involved in and to push the Green New Deal. I'll wrap it up in this. I just want to say that in reality, Hillary won the election by 3 million votes. We shouldn't discount that. And in reality, if we didn't have the Electoral College, I would be sure that Trump would lose this election. But precisely because we have a form of government, even constitutionally, that's not truly democratic, and that actually favors the areas of this country that are most white, is precisely why we have the possibility for the third time in 20 years to have a minority president. The difference is that this guy, I believe, is really more than happy for his own personal aggrandizement to fundamentally change the rules of the game. And like the lady was trying to say, might try to even do certain things to cancel out any fair elections this time around. I could bring up Russiagate, which some of you think is a hoax. I don't, but that's a whole other ball of wax.
I have an announcement. 10-second announcement. Tomorrow night, if you want to continue the discussion in a very comradely way, at Corinne's house at 7 o'clock, she's serving filet mignon and caviar. And all kinds of wondrous things for an informal means Arthur's action candidate. So if you want to attend and not fight, but enjoy yourself and relax, or fight a little, come on over and let us know, and we'll give you the
Ask Corinne the address.
What the address?
Where's this at? Where's this?
Marty will tell you. And
Corinne,
also,
Corinne, I forget.
if you'd like to make a contribution, you can make your check payable to social protection. It costs us a lot of money to go
Corinne.
through this, for.
So do
Please
that.
contribute. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Corinne, what is your address?
What? You put it down.
No, I didn't.
Tell everybody your address. It's 400. Okay, so.
You have it in the paper. Can you announce it?
It's nice meeting you.
I'm 100%.